Okay, this is a video showing you how to create your pattern designs in Photoshop. Alright, so you're going to start by going to File. Oh, we got to click into Photoshop. File, New. Make sure the width is set to 1 inch, height is 1 inch, and resolution is 150 pixels per inch. You could name your file here your last name pattern, but we're going to be saving your pattern on a template, so you really don't need to worry about that now. All right, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. This is where you're going to create one section of your pattern. You may use different tools depending on what kind of design you're making. You might use the selection tools, the paintbrush or the pencil. Remember, click and hold and you'll see some options. Paint bucket, text tool if you're typing, or the shape tools, rectangles, circles, lines, etc. There's also a custom shape tool. If you go to this and go up here, there's a whole bunch of different menus of pre-made shapes that you can use if you really don't feel comfortable drawing. What I would prefer or suggest is that you create your own artwork. Remember, nothing copyrighted, nothing that exists like a logo, a Nike logo or Apple logo. Those are copyrighted artwork, so it needs to be your own original art. I'm going to start with a background color. Oops, and I need to go back and change this to foreground instead of pattern. So I'm going to start with the background color, and then I'm going to create one section of my pattern. So I was working on like a leaf design. For that, I'm going to use the brush tool to draw it, pick my color, and this is really where all the work comes in. So drawing on the computer isn't easy. Drawing in Photoshop isn't easy. It may take a little while to perfect your design. And I'm going to do something simple just because I'm demonstrating, but as you're working on this, you really want to make this one section look nice. So take time on it. If you're not happy with what you have, you can always start over. Okay, when that section is finished, we need to save it as a pattern in Photoshop. This will save it under your profile for as long as you are using this computer in Photoshop, so you could always use it on other designs. To do that, you go to Edit, Define Pattern. So don't forget this step. This is what's going to save it as a pattern. Okay, now you need to apply your pattern on something. The templates are in Finder, Fowler Classroom, Materials, Fashion Design Templates. Later we'll use the figure templates. If you click on these, you'll see a little preview of what it's going to look like. Drag it to the desktop if you want to use it, and then open it in Photoshop by dragging it to the blue PS icon. Okay, you could paint bucket in a background color first. And if you don't want to use a front and back view, you don't have to. You could crop one of these out if I would just want to do the front view. So that's the crop tool right there. And then I'm going to go back to the paint bucket, this time change foreground to pattern up here. Click on my pattern options, and the last pattern that, it should be the last pattern, the one that you just created. Then click to dump it in. You could do a combination of pattern and solid color in your design. If you're not happy with the scale of the pattern, you want it bigger or smaller, you can go back and change the original file size. So like the jogger picture file size, I would change under image size to make it a higher resolution if I want the picture bigger and the pattern to appear smaller, a lower resolution if I want the picture smaller and my pattern to appear bigger. If that's confusing, I can help you with that. All right, when you're finished, File, Save As, name it your last name, and either pattern 1, 2, or 3. You're going to turn in 3 of these. I'm going to minimize this window, go to the Finder, Fowler Classroom, Hand in Work, find your class folder, and this is Pattern Designs. And you'll drag them in here. So just like Alexis did, last name pattern 1, 2, and 3.